Hi everybody, welcome to my first video ever in the art section of my channel. I'm Efron Framble and today we're going to draw some Pokemon. Well, we're going to draw one Pokemon in particular. We're going to draw a Deoxys. Now, what I wanted to do with this section of the channel is continue with the journey I've been going on. What I did, I started on January 1st, 2021. I started to draw Pokemon. I drew one every day. I drew actually two versions. I drew one with the shapes, and then I would be very careful to outline and then darken in and shade each Pokemon very carefully. And then on next to it, I drew a quicker version that was not so just carefully drawn. The point is that I want to get better at drawing. And Pokemon are pretty easy in general to draw. Pokemon don't have a lot to them. They're very cartoony. They're very, there's a lot of room for error. I wanted to make sure that I took my time with drawing this, and I didn't want to just rush through. And I realized, obviously, the more time you take and the more care you take, the better it's going to come out in the end. The more evident it'll be that you've taken that time. So I wanted to encourage anybody who wants to draw, maybe not draw along with me. I mean, you can draw along with me, but I don't know how many of these I'm going to do. But you can parallel maybe if you are about the same level I am, or maybe if you're really just starting out. This isn't really, it might talk a little bit like it's a tutorial, but it's really, I am really just a beginner. I just wanted to improve, and the best way to do that is just to practice. So now I'm up to the end of Generation 3. In the first generation, so I started with Bulbasaur. There's Bulbasaur there, and it's very, very beginning, very crude. I sort of just sketch it out. I do it very quickly on the right-hand side, but on the left-hand side I take more time, as I said. So as I went along, you can see, like for Squirtle is the first time I really focused more on the shading, and I could tell that it made quite a difference. And so for Beedrill, you'll notice that I did the Mega Evolution. And I will do either a Mega Evolution or a regional version of that Pokemon, or they're a different form. In the case of Deoxys has several, so we can do. I'm gonna do a few different forms. I want to show you what I've done just recently. I actually attempted this video before, and there were some technical difficulties. Yesterday I did Jirachi, but this is how Jirachi turned out. Pretty good. I had a little bit of trouble with the shaping of it initially. There were some issues with Groudon and Rayquaza as far as how detailed they are, but sometimes I find the more detailed a Pokemon is, the easier it is to draw everything where it should be. You can tell right here it comes down with Rayquaza, it comes right down to it's skinnier here when it really should be. I could have taken more care there, but all in all, this is a good outcome for just pencil and paper. The medium pencil is very with graphite is very, it can come off on your fingers a lot, and it can smudge really well. You can see some of these, there are marks from the other page, but for the purpose of what I'm using this for, it's okay, because really all I'm trying to do is get practice. All right, so let's start with Deoxys here. Okay, so Deoxys as a basic shape is a triangle, more or less. So I'll go up here from the bottom, and I'll go up, and actually it's more like you have small triangles here. These are the legs, so I just kind of sketch out the shape of the legs. Now for some of them I might start, like if it's a very simple shape like a circle or something where I might need lines, I'll draw the lines first. But for Deoxys, for example, I could draw a triangle like this, but if I just draw the basic shapes, I I think that's fine. That's okay. Whatever works. So I am a bit impatient, so that's the whole reason I'm doing this, is to just exercise patience, get better at being patient with the whole thing. So here we go. I'm just sketching it out. You've got an arm. Well, let's see. You've got. Sometimes I'll just do maybe the inner part. I know usually you're supposed to do the outer parts and then the inner part, but now here's where it's a little tricky, because I'm not happy with this. And sometimes I can start over the whole thing, or I can just, I feel like if it's a little bit high, I'm right in the crease of the notebook here, so maybe I'll bring everything down a little bit. But that's why the cardinal rule of sketching like this is drawing very lightly. And it is, I am kind of awkwardly positioned, so I'm not, usually I kind of hunch over the paper and it's easier for me to kind of get my bearings, but if I want to, here, I'll do some lines. I'll do a line down here, and then it goes from here to this way, and then this way. And I'll start with the head here. If I want the head to be here like this, notice how it's very rough. It doesn't need to be perfect right off the bat. And if you want to do any extra lines like this, you can. There are a number of ways you can do this. Like, whatever guide you find will help you, will work for you. Use that. We'll use whatever you feel is will help you achieve the shape that you want to get. But I find either a line or shapes like that they're good to estimate where you want to go with the character. So I did it from the bottom up. Didn't quite work out the way that I wanted. So now I'm doing it from the top down, and this seems to be working a little bit better. By the time I get to the bottom, it's a little bit off, but it's good. It's good for practice and for the purposes of what I'm doing for this video. All right, so maybe a siren outside, so I apologize for any sirens going past. Alright, so it happens to be that this arm is pointing down this way, which is a good thing, because there's that siren going by. It's a good thing that this arm is going down this way, because then it doesn't run off the page. I try not to run off the page. Sometimes I can't help it, because I've done such a great job in the rest of it that I don't want to go back or change anything. And it looks like, yeah, this will run off the page a little bit. That's okay. It's just a little nodule thing, so I'll let that go. But I usually try to avoid it if I can. And this, I know I'm being a little bit darker on the lines here, but that was not intentional. Okay, so here's a mistake a little bit here. In the way that I've gone under here, it's like an optical illusion there. This should be the outside of that. This should be the inside, like that, and that should go end down here. Okay, so this is really the ending of the sketch portion of this. There we go. Okay, so that's the, I feel like that's the hardest part to doing these, is getting the shape right, because you can definitely tell between a fan art and an official art or professionally done art. Is a lot of fan art will be the shapes will be like right off the bat, they'll be a little bit off, and you can always tell, like if you have a good eye for it, you can tell that it is off. So like for example, the eye is more than halfway down the face, so I have to reflect that in my drawing. And if it's not correct when I do the light drawing and I don't correct it, I won't be able to correct it. I only really have one chance to get it right, and that's while I'm doing the light lines, the sketch lines. Okay, so we'll say that's acceptable. And there are a couple things that can save you if you do go too far down the rabbit hole. For one, shading is one that can kind of cover up something. Like if there's just a little goof, you can shade and kind of get away with anything like that. Like I might show you a little bit what I'm talking about. There's that little thing in the middle here. That I might lose my drawing here, or might lose my computer image that I'm basing this off of. I just have to move the mouse a little bit to reactivate it. Okay, that's okay. The legs are kind of spread out a little bit too much. They could be more up and down, but overall, this isn't a bad start. If I really wanted to be picky, I could fix it now, and this would be the time to fix it. But I'm just going to keep on trucking along here. And like I said, I'm impatient, so sometimes I will just forge ahead and just do the thing. Sometimes I find the roughest part of this, which might be the hips are too wide, so I might just try to round it out a little bit more. Goes down like this a little bit more, like that. So that's a little bit more round. And if I didn't make it clear, well, I didn't say so, but this is the part where I just deepen the lines. I darken the lines, rather. And this might be a bit of a mistake, because this is way... No, that's pretty rough. See, that's the benefit to using a digital media instead of pencil and paper, is you can always erase, no matter how dark you've drawn it. Go a little bit longer with the legs. Hopefully I can salvage that. I'm being maybe more picky than I would be if I wasn't recording this. Of course, I want to have really good results for you guys. But you'll find out that it'll seem like if you're being very nitpicky, it'll seem like you're doing something very like I know a lot of people, especially starting out, want to be perfectionists, and that's the thing that held me back for the longest time. I wanted the drawing that I was doing to be perfect, so I would let that be a reason why I didn't do it at all. Like in the first place, I just wouldn't do the drawing. And that's not a good reason at all to stop from drawing or pursuing anything, really. It's better to try and fail over and over and over again than to never try and never know what it would have been like if you hadn't tried. There's my little inspiring quote of the day. I'm sure somebody else has said that. I'm sure many other people have said that. So this is the part that once it's sketched out, it's very easy to just trace over your lines. This is the oh, that's not good. Make that into shading or something. I don't know. All right. Some of these Pokemon, especially the smaller ones that have not very much to them, are the hardest. They're the most difficult to do because you wouldn't think that they're all form. They're all the shape that they are, and if you screw up the shape in the beginning, there's no hiding it. Going down like this, like that. That's why some of these bigger, more complicated ones are a little bit easier to fake. Maybe I'll just really darken the lines. Also, I'm kind of doing two things at once. Doing the explaining of what I'm doing as I'm doing it, so that makes it a little bit trickier, but I'm not going to make any excuses because I feel like this is turning out okay. And some of the lines you don't have to add until you do the dark line. Like if you know about where you're going to go with your lines, you don't have to do every single part of it lightly. You can add more stuff in later when you need to. Sometimes the eyes are a little tricky because, well, first of all, when I do these drawings, they're on such a small, I do them on the same notebook, which is kind of a smaller piece of paper. And eventually I'm going to transfer this to digital. Like I'm going to start drawing these on a sketchbook, but I don't have a sketchbook. I can't really afford one right now. But when I get one, it'll be great because I'll be able to adjust, change anything as I go along, and I can do lines as thick as I want or as thin as I want, and I can still change it. So that's Deoxys, unshaded. Now, I'm feeling like this is looking pretty good. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm doing my own shading. I'm doing all the shading that I see on the official artwork. And the interesting thing, what I really like about these drawings is that there are two colors and gradients of gray. So I don't have many choices when it comes to the way I want to shade something. So really I just pick which color I want to be the darker one. Whatever feels like a darker color. In this case, there's blue and orange. So I'll just do, since there's more orange, I'll pick the orange. There are different gradients of orange. So I'll pick the orange to be the darker color. Depending on the type of blue, blue seems like it could be more of a deep color, but the type of blue, actually it's more of a teal that they have, so I'd be more inclined to pick the orange. And then I just do different grades of orange like that. And I may shade in the blue just a little bit. Like if I decide to, like this leg here, I can do just like a really light shading. And one part that I skipped that I normally do, I do get rid of all these guidelines here. So I probably should have done that first. This is also something that you can do a lot easier through a tablet or something. The nice thing is that since it's so Pokemon are so cartoony, you can get away with a lot. You can get away with, and I guess you could do that with a lot of different cartoons, just because they're so cartoony. Like people will suspend their disbelief more than if you're trying to do like a realistic art piece of art. So this is what I like about shading. You can definitely tell that they're different colors, even though it's the illusion of different colors. So sometimes I'll shade a different way in a different direction, and you can tell the color is different. This is technically lighter than this, but by virtue of the fact that the shading is going in different directions, it looks like a different color. So, and I can get real picky here because there are a lot of choices, like shading choices. I can choose to ignore some of these shades, or I can just go. I can do kind of the same with each of them, regardless of the color. So I can do like this side, and then there's this part that's shaded. And like I said, the point of this is just to get better at what you're doing. And this is just a quick sketch. So there you have it, the basic form of Deoxys. And I would just go on and just practice doing that. That's where I am in my drawing journey. But now we're going to go a little further, another step further. And I'm going to do the other, I believe there are 2 versions. No, there are 3 forms. Okay, so I'll do 3 forms and I'll do them pretty quickly. This will be the attack form. I'm going to do real quick right up here. So this is where I'll just do maybe there's no benefit to doing this quickly, but if you think about how they do Pokemon in the shows, how they draw Pokemon in the shows, I mean, obviously they're doing it through computers. They're doing it digitally, and they can correct stuff really easily. But not having that luxury, it's still a useful talent to be able to make something up very quickly. So the quicker I can draw a good quality Pokemon, the better. And that's a useful tool. So you got the little thing that goes here, thing that goes here. This goes all the way down. This goes down like this. And even the form of this Deoxys is really cartoony. So there's not a lot of risk that I'm taking by doing a quick version of this like this. And I think I'm going to break one of my rules here. What I normally don't do is I normally don't overlap. But I think I might overlap on this one just because I have 3 forms to do. Unless I'll try to do like a version. There you go. I mean, it's not overlapping, but maybe it's the leg is going into the background here. That's a passable, like if you were to watch Pokemon, if you were to watch an episode where you see at some point they're in the background, you'll see kind of these funny looking little versions of Pokemon that aren't they're nowhere near the quality of the official artwork. So I'm using that as my excuse here. But that's the attack form. And I think I have room to do 2 more. The defense form and the speed form. So I'm going to stagger them a little bit. I'm just going to go like this. And you'll notice that I didn't do like light lines and then thick lines. Ain't nobody got time for that, so I'm just gonna It's funny how I said that the big reason why I'm doing this too is to increase my patience or exercise my patience, and then when I'm doing them I'm having no patience. But there is a little bit of difference with doing this video. Because I'm doing the video, I want to pick up the pace pretty quickly. So, and it's a neat exercise to see how fast I can whip up a Pokemon drawing. There we go. No, that's not looking bad. I'm running into a little bit of trouble here. So this is going to end up being like the dimensions are all off. Now this is a good reason, or this is a good example. Maybe this is kind of I'm learning this lesson over and over again, that it's better to take the time to do it right, or else you'll get a character like this on your hands, where you'll have very tiny legs. And that's supposed to be like a box, but I'm not shading this one. If I was shading this one, I would do it. Yeah, see, that looks terrible. But normally I don't have 4 different drawings to do in one day. So let's just do like that. Draw kind of looks like a cat here. It's way too big. Okay. This is awful. So So this is exactly this. I think this is a good way to see the contrast between a drawing where I take my time and one where I basically just say, screw it, I'm going to draw this as fast and carelessly as I can. This is how I used to always draw anything that I doodled, anything that I drew really quick. But still, it's not the worst. My pencil's wearing down to the end here. Oh, I see. Okay, so it actually has two of these things. Speed form, otherwise known as deformed form, or what's that word for being just like mutated and grotesquely morphed into some unrecognizable version of it. So there it is. I have my good regular version of Deoxys where I took the time to make sure that it was, accurate and that it's as much to scale as I could do, just doing a nice quick outline and then darkening it in, and then 3 really quick versions that where you can tell I did just a really rushed job on them. So that's 386. And this is fun. So I think I'm going to do more of these. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more, or if you want to see see me attempt different things and see if maybe compare drawings and see if we can improve together. I know this isn't the worst pencil and paper sketch, but it's definitely not the best either. So there's always room to grow, and I look forward to going on this journey. This is going to be a lot of fun. I think this art section of the channel. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thanks. We'll see you later.